Hello and welcome to our value review, where we ask ourselves the question, is Vanquish really worth its price? Vanquish is a fast-paced third-person cover shooter developed by Platinum Games and published by Sega. The game has originally been released on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 in October of 2010 and has just been ported to PC. So let's find out if Vanquish still holds up 7 years later. Platinum Games usually makes more melee-focused games like Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. One can clearly see the influences those games had when playing Vanquish. For starters, the usual sprinting is replaced with a power slide, and the game mainly builds around this mechanic. This ability is given to you by the ARS, the Augmented Reality Suit. While power sliding, you can slow down time by aiming, giving you a much better shot at your opponents. This is a feature that at this point is pretty much trademarked by Platinum Games, as they include this witch time mechanic in some form in every game they develop. In total, cover, slide, slow down time, and shoot is the unique and interesting premise of the game. Let's first talk about the story of the game. The game takes place in the future, where overpopulation of Earth has forced humanity to build huge satellite colonies in space. The game starts off with the Russian president Viktor Zaitsev attacking San Francisco with a microwave weapon mounted on one of those colonies. Viktor then gives an ultimatum to the USA, either surrender within 8 hours or face the destruction of New York. This prompts the United States Army to launch an assault on the colony, which you will accompany as Sam Gideon. However, you are a member of DARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency, and your mission is a different one. Your goal is to safely extract Professor Francois Candide, a top researcher of your organization who has been kidnapped by the Russians. Overall, the game features an interesting setting and story, which you will probably quite enjoy once you take some time to get into it. The next sentence we say is going to be very sarcastic. Unfortunately, the game gives you some of its background stories through its loading screen. Due to the speed at which modern PCs load games though, we were never able to actually read them. But we're sure they were very interesting.
I'll fire on them with the automatic turret.
That would be nice.
Let's take a look at the core of the game. Your primary resource is all about your suit's energy, which you use for power sliding and slowing down time. If you use it up fully, your suit overheats and it has to cool down for a while. During this cooldown phase, your mobility is greatly reduced by about 30% and you are unable to power slide until the suit has fully recharged. Managing the suit's energy and aborting your power slides and slow motions just before the suit is fully drained is the key to maintaining your mobility. Going into slow motion also reveals the enemy's weak points, so keep them in mind when playing the game. The weapon system in the game is also quite interesting. You have a couple of weapons at your disposal, including assault rifles, rocket launchers, a disc launcher, and many more. Each weapon has its own strengths and weaknesses. Machine guns, for example, are more powerful than assault rifles, but are less accurate. Rocket launchers are very powerful, but have a very limited ammo capacity. Then there is a disc launcher, which does fairly little damage and seems to choose its own propagation path. However, we decided to keep it as one of our main weapons in the 3 available slots, since it was very effective at staggering bigger enemies. One unique aspect about the weapons was the upgrade mechanics. If you're at full ammo for one of your weapons, picking up another one of that weapon will upgrade it instead, making it do more damage and increasing its ammo capacity. This is good, since it makes you think on whether to use the weapon until its ammo is depleted and then replenishing it, or to straight up upgrade it, but have less overall ammo for the current fight because of that.
You need to take out those searchlights before they spot you. I've pinpointed them on radar.
One thing to criticize about the weapons though would be grenades. In most games, a grenade is thrown at the direction you're aiming at. However, in Vanquish, grenades are thrown at a higher arc to where you're aiming. While you can get somewhat used to that, a tweak here would have been greatly appreciated, especially since EMP grenades are very useful for the strategies in some fights. Keyword strategy. The game has a very fair checkpoint system, where every bigger challenge will get its own checkpoint. These individual sections can be quite difficult though, and finding the right tactic to overcome them is what makes the game good. We were able to beat every single section without it ever becoming frustrating, as there were always a way to do it most efficiently. Take a look at this section here, for example. It looks like the main character just got killed out of nowhere. That's cheap, right? Actually, this section had enemy snipers, which will easily one-shot you if you just miss out on paying attention. Clearing them out first is a key to progress here, and this kind of trial and error is what makes the game great. It allows you to experiment on what you need to do, and punishes you for mistakes. But if you find the right tactic, you will succeed. Another positive aspect to mention is that the enemies telegraph their attacks well, either through visuals or through sound. In this example, the enemy shoots a projectile right after making a certain sound. If you hear it, you should either be moving very fast or simply hide behind cover. One can see from the footage of the game that its age shows and it gives off some last-gen vibes in terms of graphics. However, the game still boasts some impressive vistas and the soundtrack is top-notch and sets the tone of the situation perfectly. What makes the atmosphere of a game especially stand out is the attention to detail given by the developers, and the weapon switching animation is testament to that. As Red Valley Gaming, we try to review games a bit differently to others by giving a second review score in form of a monetary value. With this value, we try to give you an objective measurement of the content of the game. This system works through comparison to other games reviewed, so let's just use Snake Pass as a baseline, as it also costs $20. The quality of the gameplay is fairly similar in both games, especially since either of them has unique elements to the type of game they're trying to be. The graphical quality is higher in Snake Pass due to it being a much newer game, but we believe the level of the atmosphere is fairly equivalent in both games. Playing Vanquish on the highest available difficulty got us to around 7.5 hours of playtime, while Snake Pass took us around 9 hours. Vanquish has a higher production value though, and features a story, cutscenes and voice acting. It also adds replayability with different difficulty levels and challenge modes. In total, we believe Vanquish hits the price it is asking for, and its red value is therefore $19.99. Vanquish is a great game with awesome and unique combat that might even get people who rather avoid cover shooters to go and try it out. The game is good because it features combat that allows you to experiment with your unique skills and abilities. A good checkpoint system makes the game fair and also makes you think to find the right approach, while also punishing you for being careless. Overall, we can really recommend this game to anyone who enjoys shooters, both cover and velocity based ones. The score that we give the game is therefore 85. Thank you for watching. We hope you liked our review and would greatly appreciate any like or comment. Do you want to vote yourself on how much a game should cost? Check out our site, and if you want to hear more from us, please hit that subscribe button below or check out our Twitter and Facebook pages. The links are in the video description below. If you have any feedback for us, please let us know. We're always happy to learn. All in all, take care. We hope to see you around.